Joe, what can you tell us about where things stand with the Packers and that trade for Aaron Rodgers?
There's been some productive conversations, and obviously we're not where we need to be yet, and feel like we're in a good place.
Do you have a deadline on when you want to have something done?
Yeah, I would say there's no hard deadline, and there's not a ton of urgency from our standpoint right now, but still very optimistic.
Is it your impression that it's going to get done? It's just a matter of when?
I mean, we're going to have to let this process play out, and so obviously we're not exactly where we need to be at this time, but we're going to let this process play out, and ultimately we do feel good about where we're at.
What did it mean to even know that Rodgers wants to come to the organization? What does that say about where you guys are at, kind of thing?
I think it's a real credit to Robert and the culture, Robert, his staff, the culture that he's created, the support that we've all been given from the Johnson family, from Christopher and Woody. So it's a real tribute to them.
When you guys got permission to talk to him and you guys went out there and met with Aaron, a lot of people assumed that the two teams had already agreed to, compensation, because that would be the norm in situations like that. Did you guys purposely break from the norm, or why wasn't that the case in this case?
I think each deal is a little bit different in its own right. We've in certain trade talks, there have been times where we've had compensation agreed to. This one just played out different. I feel like every deal, every transaction kind of has its own life, and this one was just different.
How much do you value that 13th pick, and how important is that to what you view as this team's future?
I mean, look, where I'm from, every pick is important, and obviously the 13th pick is a high pick in the round. So you really have a great opportunity to bring in a strong player. Picking in the top 15, picking in the top 20, the odds of hitting on those guys usually go up.
Is that pick off the table? Like, is that something that's non-negotiable in a trade?
Well, look, I'm not going to get into any specifics on what picks have been talked about, anything. But ultimately, we're not where we need to be at right now.
If for some reason it falls through, what do you have for a fallback option?
Rich, I think we feel comfortable with the plan we have in place. We're going to let this process play out. But again, we do have a really good plan.
Joe, what was the thought process behind trading Elijah Moore?
Yeah, so that was that was a tough decision because obviously Elijah's a really good player and a young player and on a cap-friendly deal. I think it was just a situation that came up where we had a flood of calls, nothing really serious. Cleveland was aggressive in their pursuit. Ultimately, we felt like this was an opportunity to bring the value that we needed back to the team and back to the draft, while also giving Elijah a great opportunity in Cleveland.
What's your interest level in Odell Beckham Jr.?
I would say Odell I've had some productive conversations with Odell's agent, Zeke Sandu, and Odell's obviously a really talented player, and he worked out for several teams a few weeks ago, and so we'll see how that process plays out. But we have had conversations.
Is he scheduled to come visit you guys for a physical or meeting?
So nothing on the calendar just yet.
Is that a possibility?
So could be a possibility down the line. We'll see how things play out.
What about Calais Campbell?
Yeah, so I can confirm Calais is going to be coming in for a visit. He's going to travel in Wednesday, visit us on Thursday. So excited to have him come and visit with our staff, and obviously a great veteran presence and leader, and Walter Payton Man of the Year, and outstanding person and player.
When you look at your receiving court, Joe, I mean, you now kind of have there's Corey still there, Garrett, obviously, Hardman's in the picture, Garrett. So where would you see Odell fitting in there?
I think the more weapons, the better, and this could be an opportunity to add a unique talent. But we feel great about our room as it's currently constructed, and just having the opportunity to add a player like Mecole Hardman, championship pedigree, unbelievable speed, great run after the catch. He does so many unique and special things as a player. It just adds a special dimension to our offense.
Joe, Lamar Jackson is not, he's a free agent. Has there been any internal discussions within the organization about perhaps pursuing him, and what do you think, what is your level of interest, if any?
Yeah, well, first of all, Lamar Jackson's a fantastic player. But where we stand is, it would be disingenuous and negotiating in bad faith if we went down that path. So right now we have our plan, we have our process, and we're sticking to that.
As far as Quentin Williams' contract extension, where are you at on that?
Yeah, so there's been a few conversations since I last spoke to you guys at the Combine. I would say we're in a positive place there. No exact timeline for when that's going to get done, but had good conversations with Nicole, and still feel like that's in a positive place.
Have you been able to sit down with Brian here and talk to him, or is this stuff that's just happening all the time?
First of all, I've known Brian for 20 plus years, and he's a fantastic person, fantastic evaluator, and there's been just some small talk catching up. Nothing official, and nothing planned, but it was good to see him. It was good to catch up with him.
One more free agent for you, Joe, is Ben Jones, the center. I mean, he has connections, obviously, to the staff, would fill a need. I mean, where are things with him and interest in him?
Yeah, so Ben, yeah. So nothing scheduled as of now. There is interest in Ben, another outstanding veteran, Pro Bowler last year. You talk about tough, smart, just a great leader, great person. So
how about Makai's 5th-year option? Have you guys made?
So we have time. We have time to submit that, and so we'll address that after the draft.
You said it would be it'd be disingenuous to have conversations with Lamar because you're currently exploring the other opportunities.
Right. We're staying on our path that we're on right now, and it's just we're never going to operate in bad faith.
I just wanted to ask, you mentioned we can be patient right now. As far as the timeline goes, is there a point, though, in this off season where you would be nervous if this doesn't come together?
I wouldn't say I'd be nervous at any point. I feel like we have a good plan. We have a good process. We're going to let this play out, and I'm, like I said from the beginning, I'm optimistic.
Thanks, everybody.